So for a long time, you guys have been asking me to do a budget video and share with you guys like generalized, like a basic form of my monthly budget. So here I've basically come up with or made up like a generalized budget that I'm gonna share with you guys. So please keep in mind, guys, that this is not necessarily my real monthly budget. It might be, it may not be. I'm not really saying anything there, but this is just like something to that effect kind of thing. So let's get this started. This budget basically starts out with the generalized income. So for this month, we're going to say the budget is $4,500 for that entire month. So basically, say from work, I bring in $1,500 a month. So that's $1,500. Say from YouTube, I bring in $2,000 a month making videos and basically stuff like that. Say for child support, which is basically what Emmanuel would pay for Kate, say he gives me $300 a month. Say for other, which could be pretty much anything. It could be a little tax money, it could be child tax, it could be whichever, it could be basically little outside work, it could be whatever. Say for that I make $700 a month. That is basically where the generalized 4,500 comes in. Please keep in mind, guys, that I am not on welfare. Welfare is not in this budget at all. So please don't listen to the things that you read and write, because none of those people who write those things can prove to any of you guys that I'm on welfare. They just basically talk for the basic fact of information that I put out there in the past. So they're still on the last year stuff. I am not on welfare anymore. I was on welfare. I took welfare and I did what I needed to do, and now I'm working and doing my own thing. So I promise you, this budget has nothing to do with welfare. This is all my money that I bring in myself. Let's just get that out of the way before we start the entire budget. Hey, Papa. Okay, go watch TV. I'm coming. Go. So we're gonna first start off with rent. So say for rent for this entire apartment, I paid $2,000, and with this apartment, I told you guys that there's hydro separate. So say for hydro, which is my electricity, so my lights, my outlets and stuff like that, I pay $150 a month. Then say for grocery, I spend roughly anywhere from $200 a month and maybe a little bit more depending on the month. Say for necessities, which could be clothes or shoes for the kids, or like Keikei have these weekly snack program that goes on at school that I have to pay for, or a pizza lunch that might come up twice or 3 times in the month. Say for those things, I put down $200 a month. For my phone bill, you could say, we'll say that that's $80 a month. For education plan for the children, which is their RESP, say I roughly put down $300 a month. So that's $100 per child, and this goes towards their college or university funds for the future, so they don't have to worry about taking OSAP, government loans, and pretty much all of that stuff. Say for my cable and my internet, I pay $180 a month together. Say for savings, like just a regular savings account for pretty much anything, a rainy day, whatever, say I put $100 a month. You want to keep it realistic. You don't want to overbreak your pocket or overdo your budget. Even if you have it, try to keep it. It'll just teach you to slowly learn to save. So say for entertainment, which could be going out to the movies, going rock climbing with the kids, ice cream cone at the park, stuff like that. Say for that, we put down $200 a month. For emergency, which could be emergency bus fare when the kids get hurt and you got to take a taxi to the hospital or something, or the kids or there's a prescription that's not covered under my drug plan, the kids need it and stuff like that, we'll put this down. So $300 a month for that. For allowance now, for each child, $25, so they could do whatever they want. So with that, everything rounds up to $3,785 a month. So that's coming from a $4,500 budget, which leaves us with $700 when everything is paid and done. So that's pretty much $700 for nothing. It's just there. So basically when that happens now, that money either just sits there or we just slowly use it towards things like, say I need a brand new laptop, or the house needs something, stuff like that, or the kids need something, or it just might just sit there and just go into the next month to be added to the next month, or maybe I might put a little bit more into the savings account, stuff like that. So when you have children now, I always recommend that it's best to have a education savings plan, because it's very important, because you're helping to secure your child's future, so that when he or she grows up, they don't have to worry about relying on the government if something happens to you, and then they have, like myself now, all this big debt to pay back. I've been paying back my school fees for a good while now, and I still have $10,000 to pay back. I pay on it every month, and I try to pay as much as possible. And I actually forgot that in the budget here. So say for school fees, I forgot it because I don't have these things in my mind. School fees. So for school fees, we'll say I pay anywhere from $125 a month. We'll just try to keep it in the realistic zone. So we would have to rearrange the budget now. So that would bring us at $575. So with that said, so that's pretty much what we would have left back, which is still a good amount. So also, when you have children now, did I talk about the education? Yes, I did. See, I'm forgetting everything. With children, you want to make sure you have emergency money, because like I said, anything can happen. You never know, like things just pop up. Like when you have kids, there's surprises everywhere. Things just pop up. They need things happen. You get into situations that's just out of your control. It happens when you're a parent. It doesn't make you a bad parent. It doesn't mean that it's your fault. Things just happen. Things happen in life. Like we would say, ish happens, okay? It's not your fault. Some are very unavoidable. So it's just good to always have like an emergency plan, because you never know. So for allowance now, I like to give the kids allowance because I find that it teaches them a sense of independence and a form of responsibility, because now they get to know what it's like to save their own money and put towards something they want. So say Kiki sees a toy she wants, it's like, okay, you can save towards it until you have enough money to pay for it. And the smile that comes over these children's face when I do this with them, because Kiki like, oh my gosh, she has enough money, and she'll walk in the store and she'll pick up her toy and she'll pay for it herself, and the smile that comes over her face and the joy, these are things that children love and they appreciate, because it's like they feel like they're their own little person, they're their own little boss, because here they are paying for their own stuff. And that's what I would like my children to have. I like for them to feel that sense of independence, because I think I've been fending for myself for so long that I hate to struggle. I hate the word struggle, and I don't like the word to beg. I think I'm a very prideful person when it comes to that. Anybody who knows Nastascia knows that when it comes to asking for anything, it's like one of the hardest things. Like, I mean, like things for my children, like if I need a bag of milk or if I need this. People like, oh, you can always ask me for anything if you ever need anything. I will never ask. I would rather find another way, because I don't want anybody to know that I'm struggling. I don't want my children to know that I'm struggling. So therefore, I put things like this in place. I put plans like this in place to make sure that those days never come, to make sure they never happen. Even if you don't have a kind of budget like what I generally have, even if you can keep $20 in your pocket to last you throughout that week or that month, it's good, because anything can happen, and now you have $20. You can run to the hospital with your child. Bus fare is $3 here in Canada, and you can run to the hospital with your child and you're okay, because you have a little bit of money. Or even if you keep $40, you guys, like, if you guys know what I mean, it comes in handy. With YouTube now, I work my butt off. Basically what it is, if you make videos over 10 minutes, that video makes more money. If you make daily videos, or you're on your channels making more frequent videos, that allows your audience to build more, because now you're being put out there more, you're going to be noticed more, your videos will be recommended more, therefore you're going to make more money. If you're signed with a good company, that will also make you good money. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that YouTubers don't make good money. I've seen those blogs and stuff like that that says 1 million views, YouTubers can't pay their rent. That is a complete lie. I can pay my rent basically with everything I pretty much make off of YouTube. Like, YouTube pays good if you put the work in it. That is basically what I would say towards then. For work now, if you can get out there and work, you do your thing, even if it's something that you like for the moment or you love. If you can go back to school, do your thing, build like a little foundation for yourself, and start to bring in that money, start to bring in that knowledge, start to build those little steps, put out those building blocks for your future. you will be okay. For child support, don't be hungry, okay? Don't be hungry and run after the man. There is a child support guideline on the internet. Look for it in your city, your state, your country, whichever it might be. And according to what the spouse makes or that second half makes, that is what he's supposed to be paying towards his child, or she's supposed to be paying towards their child, and stuff like that. And if you have other ways you could bring in a little money, whether that's to do a little side job or stuff like that, word of mouth kind of job, do it and make that little extra money. Like, always try to bring in money, but at the same time, don't let money consume you. Don't be greedy towards money. It's never a good mentality to have. I'm telling you, it will consume you. When you're starting to live that ball-in life, you start to make all that money, it will consume you if you allow it. So you got to focus on basically what's at hand and keep your mind sane. Have a strong mind. Money's not everything. Money runs the world, but at the same time, without us spending that money, the world cannot be run. So don't let money consume you. Live life, continue to be you, and always stay true to you. Don't make money control you or change you. It's never a good thing. It's good to plan for the future, and it's good to plan ahead, but at the same time, live in the reality of today. Yesterday has already come and gone. Today's today, and tomorrow may never come, but it doesn't mean that you can't plan for it just in case if you are blessed to have another day. You can still plan for it. There's nothing wrong with it. Plan for a rainy day, because like I said, anything can happen. You never know. So you have to pretty much put in the steps to ensure you get the kind of life that you want. So if you want to be that club rat or that person that's always up in the Nike store, the Gap store, and all them name brand Gucci and stuff like that, and you don't want to be at home making sure when you get your money, the first thing you do is pay your bill, pay your rent, make sure your kids have a place to sleep in, make sure your kids have food and clothes on their back, and then make sure you take care of all their needs and do whatever else you want to do afterwards. But some parents, some couples, some people switch it around. They take care of them first and then their kids last, and then they complain how this world is so unfair and how life is so tough and this, but they're wearing the best, but they can't find where their next children's meals are going to come from or where that roof is. It's not a good mindset. I think I've grown up and watched so much around me that I try to take from it. I'm only 24 years old now. I still was going to say 23. I try to take from it because I don't want to struggle. I don't want to live that life where I can't take care of my children. I don't want to live that life like some people. You get that big Benz, but every month you can barely even make ends meet to pay for it. No, I got this apartment because I make enough to pay for it. It's expensive. I'm not on housing assistance. I'm not on housing. This is not the ghetto. This is not the, what do they call this? What, the projects, like I've heard my place being called. This is an actual residential apartment. Like, people live here. A lot of the elderly people live here. It's a regular apartment. It's regular rent in the thousands plus hydro. I don't pay $50 for my rent. I don't get no one to pay my rent. I pay my rent myself. I work, I make my money, I pay my rent, I take care of my family, because I built that foundation the second I left home. And it all started from the bottom up. I started with welfare, and now here I am, and life is good. So it's like I always have something to smile about, because I make sure I put steps in place to ensure that I never struggle, to make sure my kids never want for nothing, to make sure I don't have to beg or feel like I can't do it. So that is why life is okay. I can't say life is the greatest. Life is great. Okay, well, maybe I can't say it's the greatest. Life is great. I mean, I take the simple things. I don't need the fanciest things. I don't need the most newest things. I shop at the hand-me-down stores. I have no issues with that. I shop at thrift stores. I shop at the big stores. I just basically live life. Some people try to uphold this image, which is not good, because then you don't see how they're struggling, because they're upholding this image in front of you for you, not even for them. But when they're home, they're crying and they can't pay their bill, and they don't know where their next meal's coming from. They can't make ends meet, and it sucks. I never want to live like that. I never want my children to live like that. So you gotta instill these things within your brain now, and you will totally be okay. You won't have to worry. So anyways, guys, that is a little budget video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it helps some of you guys, and I hope it motivates some of you guys to do a little better, or to save more, do more for your children, and do more for yourself, kind of thing. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later for the vlog. Bye.
I could be a private island on a different planet. Anything could happen. Listen to the waves, let them wash away your pain.